Rav Shimshon Pinkus Zecher Tzadik L'Bracha tells over that when he was younger, he once wanted to daven Marav with a minyan with his father. However, since it was summertime, Marav was very late. It was after regularly scheduled bedtime. His parents decided better that he go to bed than go to minyan. Rav Pinkus kicked and screamed, but his father left the shul by himself. His father thought, little Shimshi, he wants to go daven with the minyan. How can I take that opportunity away from him? He turned around in the hopes of negotiating a way for little Shimshon to go to Marav. When he got to the gate of the house, he found Rav Pinkus standing right there at the gate. He asked, what are you doing here? Rav Pinkus said, I wanted to go daven so badly. I turned to Hashem and I said, the only thing in the world that I want right now is to go daven Marav with the minyan. And I knew that there was no way that Hashem was going to take that opportunity away from me. And look, you came back. In this week's Parshat, the Torah tells us that when the Kohen becomes Tameh, there's a process that he undergoes in order to purify himself and allow the eating of Truma. On the last day of the Tumah, the Kohen goes to the mikvah, and then right away, once the sun goes down, he's already allowed to eat Truma, even though the process doesn't finish until the next day when he brings what's called the Karban Kapara. Why is he allowed to eat Truma before the process is actually finished? So the Emor Emes says, based on this week's Parsha, where the Torah describes the Truma as kilak mohu, the Emor Emes says that it doesn't just mean lachmo, that we need to make sure that the Kohen has sustenance, that he has food to eat, but rather, since the Kohen wants to be part of Kedusha so badly, since he yearns for the opportunity to eat Truma, so Hashem said, wow, you want it that badly? I will cut the process. That yes, finish the process tomorrow with the Karban. However, you can start eating Truma right away. It's the desire. If we want a mitzvah, if we want Kedusha as badly as we would need food, so Hashem says, well, how can I take that away from you? Similarly, what we saw last week in Pesach Sheni, that when Bnei Yisrael wanted the opportunity to do the Karban Pesach, they couldn't live without bringing the Karban Pesach. Lama nigara, why should we lose out? Hashem created a mitzvah from that desire. And perhaps this would explain an interesting phenomenon in Talmud Bavli. The very first words of Talmud Bavli, when talking about the Zman of Kriya Shema, uses Misha shekohanim nichnasim lecho b'truma, that the time for Kriya Shema at night starts, even though we know it's Teis HaKochavim, the Mishnah doesn't say Teis HaKochavim, but rather the Mishnah uses this Kohanim eating Truma as the symbol for when Teis HaKochavim really is. Why can't it just say Teis HaKochavim? So the Gemara says to teach us this idea that the Karban Kapara is not Ma'akev. Why is this the first thing that we need to see in Talmud Bavli? Because maybe the yesod here is, as we're starting to learn the Talmud Bavli, the Torah Shebaal Peh, is that the key, the tone that we want to set is how badly do I want this? How badly do I want Torah? How badly do I want Kedusha? How much am I yearning for this to be part of my life? The very first words, the very first halacha, the one that deals with Kabbalas Malchus Shemayim at night, the very first topic that Talmud Bavli is going to talk about is the Kohanim eating Truma, because that symbolizes, according to the Emor Emes, a yearning for a mitzvah that then creates further opportunity for Kedusha. I remember once on Kiddush Levana Matzei Shabbos, even though the weather people all predicted thick clouds, I walked out of shul and I had a friend who was standing with his little Kiddush Levana card looking up at the sky. What are you doing? It's cloudy. We don't have to say Kiddush Levana tonight. And the guy said, what do you mean? Opportunity for Kiddush Levana. I'm going to stand here for a few minutes and give Hashem the chance to allow us to do the mitzvah. How could I not do Kiddush Levana at the first opportunity that we have? And sure enough, unbelievably, the clouds split just for a few minutes. The two of us said Kiddush Levana, and we yotze the mitzvah based on his yearning. As we head towards Kabbalas HaTorah, Hashem should see how badly we want to get close to Torah. He should help us realize that it's our yearning that's going to create opportunities of Torah and understandings of Torah, maybe clarity of Torah, and through that, we should have a relationship with Torah and mitzvos on the highest level possible. Have a great Shabbos.